Stream Deck. Let's set up a Stream Deck today. Hey there, Captain Media here with another video for you. This is going to be part 2 of the Stream Deck series. In part 1, you'll be able to see a little card pop up here with a link to that video. Part 1, we kind of did an overview of what the Stream Deck is, what it can do, with the pros and cons of it. And in this video, we're going to go ahead and download the software for it and show you how to set up kind of a basic overlay and some of the features that come with it. So I just want to remind everybody that I stream at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time every Monday, Friday, and Saturday on Twitch. So why don't you come on over, hang out with us in the chat, ask me some questions about your stream setups, or play some games with us. So the first thing that you'll want to do is head over to the Elgato website, and you're going to want to go to elgato.com, and you're going to click on downloads. You're going to select your product. So we are going to be using the Stream Deck, not the Mini, not the XL, just the Stream Deck. And there it is, version 4.9.0 for Windows. You click this download button here, and it will download down in the corner. Once that's done, you're going to go ahead and run the software. So we'll click next. I accept the terms of the agreement. That's exactly where I want it to go, and we'll install it. All right, so once this is downloaded, this is going to automatically open the Stream Deck software, and you'll see here that you get a blank slate, and you get a little icon in the middle that says welcome. When you push this, it takes you to the Elgato website, and it will show you some of the tips and tricks you can do with your Stream Deck and some of the other software that they have. Since this video isn't on that, we're going to skip it. So the first thing that you'll want to do is you're going to want to go into settings up here, go to accounts, and you're going to want to add your streaming account. So since I stream to Twitch, that's what goes in here. All right, once you put in your credentials, you'll be prompted to authorize. And there you go. You're in and ready to rock and roll. It's always a good idea I recommend just setting up a profile. So right now it has the default profile. What we can do is we can rename this. I'm going to rename this the Slobs profile. So this is going to be all the stuff that I use for my Streamlabs. Okay, application, Streamlabs OBS. There you go. Make this the default profile. Boom, there you go. Back into general. This is where you're going to set your screensaver. If you want one, you can put your logo on there. I recommend not doing this unless you have a moving background, because the burn-in on the keys, you will burn your image and your logo into the keys. This is also where you set the brightness. I don't know if you can see it here, moving all the way up, moving all the way down. So I keep it about in the middle. It's plenty bright enough. The brighter you have this, the more intense the burn-in is. So I recommend keeping this at least the half brightness setting. And there we go. We're ready to start adding stuff. So the first thing, the big thing that I want to highlight on this is everyone sees this and says it's a 15 key macro keypad for $150, and you only get 15 keys. And while yeah, you have 15 physical keys, you actually have almost unlimited logical options. So the way that I set this up is I have folders that I put everything in. So what happens is you can click here and you can add a folder. So now a folder pops up on the screen, and all you got to do is hit the folder, and you end up in a whole nother folder. We'll say you want to have another folder in here. Create another folder. Click that one, you're in another folder. So literally you can just keep going down and drill down deeper and further and deeper and further until you can't think of anything else to put on there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our first-person shooter game scene. So what we'll do is we will right-click, create folder. And right here, we will label this. Actually, I'm going to leave this blank. I do this on purpose for an aesthetic reason. So what happens here, I'll show you. If you put in FPS games, it automatically centers itself on the key, and it makes it look pretty good. But one thing that I like to do is you can click here, and you can set the icon from a file. So now I'm going to have my Modern Warfare logo be the actual key itself. And as you can see on the camera here, it pops up. And yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and go into this folder. And the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to set up the scene. So since I have multiple scenes, what I will be doing is adding another folder. And this one I will just label scenes. Okay. and that should be sufficient. And what we'll do is we'll click on that, and now we're ready to go down in here and start dragging stuff over. So first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to go to the Streamlabs OBS, and right here you'll see scene. So all I do is literally click and drag this over. So since I have 4 screens, but I have a starting screen and an end screen, I never really hit the hotkey for the starting screen. Plus I can accidentally put it back on the starting screen, so I've decided not to do that. So what I will be doing is we will be taking this and we will say the collection is going to be in FPS games, and then the scene is going to be in between. That's the scene that I will want this to be assigned to. And again, we can change the icon on this, but since we're going to do this on the fly real quick, on this one you can say in between. And then when the button is active, I usually like to say it's active, put that in the middle, and you can change the text to be red. So that way you're very well aware that you were on that scene. Okay. All right. And then here I can change this back to white, and everything should be good. So now when we hit the button, it will transition over, and there we go. Perfect. So we need to set another one up. We'll do another one for practice here to go back to this screen that we're on right now. So we'll again drag another scene, and we'll make this one gaming or live. Okay, and this will be the streaming live screen. And again over here, active. Okay, and so now what we do is we check these. We can switch between the two. So we'll click this button here. It works. And then we'll click this button here, also works. So there we go. We got our scene set up. We're ready to rock and roll. So the next big thing that I recommend to people is getting your mixer audio into here. So they're going to see there's an option here for mixer audio. I generally do at least 2 of these. So you're going to want to drag 2 of these in here. So this first one over here, we're going to make this one the desktop audio. All right. And that will be that desktop audio is on. And so we need to make sure, we're in the right collection. So FPS games, and we need to make sure we pick the right thing. So here's desktop audio, and make sure that is active. Now, when this is inactive, it'll say desktop audio. Let's make it say off. And then when it's active, we'll just say, leave it at desktop audio. So if I want to turn the desktop audio off, you turn it off, and there you go. Now that's letting you know that it is off, and now you can turn it back on. Again, over here, we'll do the same thing. We'll make this mic audio. We will make sure that it is selected. And then in down here, we'll say mic audio is off. So in order to properly test this, you won't hear me for a second. So we'll click over here to mic audio. And now you can hear me again. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's get into some Twitch specific things. So if you go down here into the Twitch panel, you can see that you have plenty of options: chat message, clear chat, emote chat, followers chat, play an ad, slow your chat down, stream or game title, your sub chat, create stream marker, viewers, create clip, open last clip. So the 3 that I generally use are viewers, create clip, and play ad. So we're going to add those individually. So what we'll do is we'll say create clip. We'll put this above here. We'll put our viewers right here. And what this one will do, there's no other action you need to do here unless you want to put a label on there. Will display how many viewers you have currently on your stream. And this will clip from the last 30 seconds. So if there's a clip that you really want to get, count to 10 and then hit the clip button, because if not, you may accidentally miss what happened. And then of course, this last one is play ad. So here's what we will do under here. Since we already logged into our account, it says Captain Media, and that's the one that we wanted to use. And perfect, down here, exact same thing, Captain Media, and then play ad. You can pick which ad you want to run. Generally, I run 60-second ads. And that's pretty much it for running Twitch. Now, if you want to set up your GIFs, what you need to do, and this is again preference, this is what I do so I can have as many GIFs and as many sounds on my soundboard as possible, is we're going to make 2 new folders here. We'll call this one GIFs, and we'll call this one sounds. Okay, so first off, let's do some GIFs. So what we'll need to do is you'll need to have your GIF already preloaded into its place in Streamlabs. You're going to open the folder, you're going to open the Streamlabs OBS, and you're going to come down here to source. So you see here in source, we will drag it over, and on this one we can say what do we want it to be? So we'll be on the streaming live screen. We don't need the hype train. We will go down to Don't Believe You. So, and there we go. Now we have the GIF Don't Believe You. So if we go in here and we click on this, it pops up, I don't believe you. So if we push it again, GIF goes away. Now we can take this a step further, because while this works and you can put a label on there, it could get kind of confusing as to which one you're hitting, especially if you're live streaming. You just want to look, press, and you're good. What you can do is you can actually go back up in here and click the select from file, and you can actually select the GIF and apply the GIF onto here. And now the GIF shows up on here. And as you can see, it is a moving GIF running on the Stream Deck itself. So we can do the same thing if we want to run soundboards. So with sounds, there's actually a soundboard section in here. What you'll do is you come down here and you'll say play audio. I don't generally put the stop audio on there, as the sounds are generally short enough that you don't need to stop it in the middle of it. Not to mention with the play audio, if you just hit the button again, it will stop playing the audio. We'll grab onto the play audio and drag it over. We'll go ahead and label it by. We will locate the file we want to use, which is in my Stream Deck files, and it's in sounds, and this is it. We'll open that. You can set the volume. You can set the output to whatever you want it to be. Generally, it just comes through on the desktop audio, so I leave it alone. You can set fade if you want to, and then it will play the audio of your choice.
Okay, bye. Stop making noise.
So generally speaking, this is just like GIFs. You want to make this easy enough on yourself so that way you can just pick the noise that you want to use and you don't have to think about it too much. So we could do this by grabbing the file. We'll set from file. We will not use Borat because this is Peter Griffin. We will go to music, soundboard, and there's Peter Griffin. So we'll grab Peter, put him in there, and now...
Okay, bye. Stop making noise.
Perfect. I want to let you know that you can nest as many folders into these as possible. So if you wanted to have a Peter Griffin soundboard, if you wanted to have a Borat soundboard, you wanted to have any of the soundboards, every one of those icons on there, with the exception of the up arrow to return to the previous menu, every one of them can be a folder. So you can have subfolder upon subfolder upon subfolder of GIFs, of sound items. Sky's the limit. Another thing that I highly recommend to people is getting a webcam control on their Stream Deck. It's especially useful. I use it for zooming in on myself and zooming back out to normal. It's very useful. It makes your webcam seem like it's a DSLR, and you have manual settings on it and cool triggers and all that kind of stuff. So this is a specialized one that you got to go look for, and it's going to be this bar rater. And the way you find extra add-ons is you hit this More Actions button down here, and you're going to look for Cam Control. So here it is. All you would do is you would go and install it, and it will automatically install. There's no restart of the application required. And then once you come down here, you'll see that it's ready to rock and roll. So what we can do is it says webcam settings. So I drag two of these in here. I label this first one normal, and I label this one zoom. And so for zoom, what you can do is you pick the webcam that you're using. You pick what property you want it to modify, and then you can let it be automatic, default, manual set, or manual adjust. So what I do is I manually set it, and I set this zoom to be 150%. So now what I do is I go back over to this normal. I'm going to do the same thing. Logitech Brio, helps if you actually select it. Logitech Brio, zoom, manually set, and manually set it back to normal. And that's it. So when something funny happens or somebody says something and you want to get all up in their face and you want to get in their business, all you got to do is hit the zoom button. And then when you're done, zoom it back out to normal. It's really easy, but it gives a really nice aesthetic to your stream. Now, another thing that I use is I use Discord on my streams to be talking to all the people that I want to have on my stream. There's actually no Discord on Stream Deck at the moment, at least not at the time of recording this video. So what I do is I set it to an elaborate keystroke in Discord, and then I grab a hotkey from the system. So we'll go to system. We'll grab the hotkey button, we'll place it here, and we will say Discord mute. And all you need to do is put in your ridiculous macro, and that's it. So now Discord mute will mute Discord and unmute Discord. Now, if you want to get fancy, another way to do this, let's go ahead and delete this, is you can do a hotkey switch. So what you do in a hotkey switch is, on this one, it's going to be off. So it'll show that it's off. So we'll say Discord, and we'll say hotkey 1 is going to be the exact same thing, Alt-Shift-S, and then the second key is going to be Alt-Shift-S. And then over here, We'll do the same with Discord. So whenever you start up your Stream Deck, you just kind of have to remember to set this up to where it is off. And now you can see it's off when you're muted, and then it's on when you're unmuted. It's just something you got to keep track of. It's an extra step. Having checklist is a good idea, especially if you've got a lot of stuff going on. All right, and now we'll get into some of the more advanced things. So if you look in here, the Stream Deck has obviously create a folder. We've been using that. There's a switch profile button. So if we come all the way back out of this, I'm going to set some of these up out here. So in the switch profile button, you can place this down on the right. And what you can do is you can select the next profile or set it to select a specific profile. So you can set up a profile for Slobs, set up a profile for Twitch Studio. You could set up a profile for Blender. You can set up a profile for all the hotkeys that you use in Photoshop, and you can have all those profiles saved. Another one is a multi-action button. So in the multi-action button, this is the epitome of a macro key. So what's going to happen here is you're going to select any of these over here, and as many as you want to set up over here, and they will all happen at the exact same time when you hit this key once. So this is good if you're trying to trigger a huge event on your stream and you're trying to load a whole bunch of browser sources at once and they're not set up properly, or it's just too much to handle with your Streamlabs setup as it is with the hotkeys on your numpad. You can click this and they'll all happen at once. So say you have a whole bunch of things that go off in celebration of something that cool that happened in your stream. Click this, they all happen. I don't personally have any of these set up right now, but I may be using them in the future. Another good thing that you can use on here is there is a timer. So you can set a timer to be however many seconds. So if you want to have a contest of how many things you can do on your stream in about 30 seconds, what you would do is you would say, run this, and it will start the timer. So 30 seconds, then you would just push it, and 30 seconds would start counting down. Pretty basic, but still somewhat useful. So I like to use this as my dashboard, this topmost menu where there is no other way to get back out of a folder. I use this as my own dashboard so I don't have a whole bunch of profiles set up. So what I do is I put my most used things on this page, and generally what I do is I put my websites in. So right here we will say all right, and then what we need to do is once we hit it, it will take us to our page. Perfect. So, and then we can customize that further once again by setting this icon from a file. And now we have our Twitch page. Again, you can do that with your YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You know, sky's the limit. It's up to you. So one other thing that I find to be a lifesaver is setting up multimedia. So what we will do is we will set up multimedia switches so that way we can control our music that we're running from Groove. If you're running it from Spotify, you're running it from iHeartRadio, this is going to work for all of them. So what you do is you're going to see there's a media, also the multimedia tab down here in system. You're going to drag that up here, and I generally drag at least 3. These are the 3 that I use. So this one can stay the same because it says previous track. This one you highlight, play, pause, and this one will be next track. So generally speaking, while we're waiting for in between lobbies for Modern Warfare, or there's a long wait while we're waiting for a flight to load in Flight Sim, there's a lot of dead space in there. So what I do is I just like to hit the music, hit the play button, my stock music runs in the background until it's time to play, hit the pause button, you're good to go. It's really easy. You don't have to tab out of your game to go pause your media player. It's just a whole lot easier, and it makes it seem a lot more seamless and a lot more well thought out and well planned. So that's pretty much it. There's a whole lot more stuff that you can dive into pretty deep on this, but this is a basic overview of what all the stuff that is available to you, how to set it up for Streamlabs. One note that I do want to tell you is you have to have Streamlabs open for it to register all of your sources that are on your Streamlabs collections. If you don't have Streamlabs open, it'll remind you, it'll say, please open Streamlabs, so that way you can do this. But just make sure that it's open, and then pay attention to what you're assigning it to. But yeah, this is very capable. I would recommend this over like one of the 32 just hard macro keypads that you put stickers on and stuff. I would 100% recommend this over that. It is expensive. But to me, it is very worth it in making the production value of your stream a lot higher. Like I said in the previous video, it is a glamour purchase. It's expensive, and if you're new to streaming and you haven't really hammered out your audio, your video, your gameplay footage to make everything seamless, I would work on that before I get a stream deck. But if you're ready to step up and you've done all those things and you want to make your stream look more professional, this is going to make it a whole lot easier for you to do that, and I 100% recommend it. I appreciate you guys coming to check out this video. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon so you can be notified whenever I have new videos coming down the pipe. And until I see you guys next time, game on.